Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm in Leeds today. I think this building on my right, is it? Oh, the Viaduct Show Bar it's called. I'm just coming out onto Briggate. It's Sunday, early November. It's about 12 degrees. Really quite still. I'm in Leeds. Viaduct Show Bar. I'm on the last weekend of my holidays, where I get the weekends off. I won't be off on a Sunday again for quite a while, so I thought I would come into Leeds and do a couple of longer walks, thinking that it would be quiet. I've just been down there on the last walk, if you remember. I needed the toilet, so I went to the station, but I slept in, which I suppose you're entitled to do on holidays. I didn't get up till 8 o'clock, so it's a bit late when I got to Leeds. And as you'll see, parts of it are already quite busy. But this walk, I've just done a walk from a street called Shannon Street in East Leeds, down as far as the railway station. But this walk, it's a walk I've wanted to do for quite some time now. It's the Briggate, both Upper and Lower Briggate, and try and go into some of the old courtyards and that there are in the area. But I thought, as we have done on numerous videos, we'd start on Leeds Bridge, show you what it's got. I've shown you this before. Give you a chance to read it. First moving pictures, allegedly. By gum, the river's still. Just about flowing. But yeah, Sundays aren't what they used to be. It's just like any other day of the week. There's a smell you don't smell very often. Somebody smoking. The iconic Leeds shot. Might actually see. Anyhow, time to press on. I didn't show you this last time. This has been a bit. The blue plaque's not controversial. It's just the fact that some dicks keep trying to pull it off and throw it in the river. So Briggate is one of the oldest streets in the city, and it's still got, thankfully, quite a few old Victorian, maybe even older type courtyards.
There were quite a few on the left here going up, but they did redevelop this lower part of Briggate. Now they got away with it. They built some awful buildings. You know what I'm going to do? Something I never do. I'm just going to walk in them. And if I get shouted at, I'll get shouted at. The warehouse and factory of E.J. Arnold was in Leeds Yard. I think further up I can go up one yard and down another. I'm not completely sure. Oh yeah, it might be possible. I mean, do you think these travel lodges will stand the test of time? There we go then. I'm not sure they will. Yes, we can go up and down. I just tried to get through to the station that way. This is a travel lodge, by the way, and this is the railway viaduct. And this is something that didn't used to happen. They're actually closed off now. And as a kid, they weren't. As a kid, you could walk through here. This is Queen's Court. I'm getting grumpy. I just tried to get in that little alleyway there. It looks nice, it's got all different coloured lights and stuff, and it looks like it's an old courtyard, but they wouldn't let me in. So this is what they built. They pulled down a lot of old yards, old buildings, and built this. It was the job centre for a long time. Another one locked off. I'll have to come on a weekday, what? So, oh, this is private property, isn't it? This is Leeds, the Habs. And the have-nots. So yeah, this was like the end there. Don't know why I suddenly got grumpy, but I am. Maybe it's been in the town's much busier than I expected it to be honest. So this was a jeweller's for a long time, and this whole area here was like this bottom bit, and it was like this bit, but for some reason they built this. Briggate was created in 1207 by the Lord Mayor of Leeds, Maurice Parnell. It was a manorial borough, a new town laid out within the agricultural manor of Leeds. Its exceptionally wide and long central marketplace, extending from Leeds Bridge to today's Headrow, was flanked by burgage plots occupied by craftsmen and traders. By the 17th century, Briggate was lined with houses, workshops and inns, and during the 18th century the long gardens behind became filled with yards and buildings and activities of all sorts. Briggate Market flourished, and by the early 18th century Lower Briggate, where you are standing, was the site of the largest and most famous market for woolen cloth in the world. And maybe, I mean, that's part of my problem, innit? I've got old. But I do remember when you could walk through every one of these from one side to the other. Now they're just places for people to have swanky offices or put the bins. But yeah, Dyson's clock. It's famous. I do go through phases. I try to be as big a fan as I can be for Leeds. But some days, I'll be honest with you, I absolutely hate it. I think today's one of them. Yeah. Lower Briggate always was a bit more of a crummy part of town, to be honest. A bit more run down. It's being done up now. It's the I think it's the gay quarter now, so a lot of gay bars and clubs and things. But this is what the whole thing was like. And this is what was this? Was it a whip or something like that? Maybe it's me. Stop. So this will bring us out onto, I think, Vicar Lane, or the bottom end of Vicar Lane. The space, ultra, and the end. More bars. I think that's the trouble with Leeds, really, isn't it? It's all eateries. Nobody comes to town to shop anymore. Brings us on to Duncan Street. Yeah, as I say, I go through phases. And this is the Duncan. It's a Sam Smith's pub. And I think it's still... Yeah, it's still a pub. Not a very good one, I don't think. Let's head back to where we were, eh? Sorry for getting a bit frustrated. I guess those lower
yards are probably private property. Why would they be open? Maybe this is what I can remember walking through when I was younger. And what I think about Leeds, I don't think about Leeds. It's got nothing to do with anything. Make your own mind up. I love it. That's Trinity Church. We saw that on the earlier video. If you remember, I was telling you from the top of Shannon Street you could see a church spire about 2 miles away. That was it. Let's get across here. So this is Briggate. It was pedestrianised a few years ago, and again it was a lot of old buildings. A lot have been replaced now. As always, I mean, Britain should be ashamed of itself. There's homeless people absolutely everywhere. I won't go down there, it's just a bit of an arcade. This was, what was this? Oh, I can't remember. It was a department store, Woolworths. Was it? Anyway, all this baloney on here about what it might have been, from coaching inns to department stores over the last 200 years. 140 to 42, Briggate has been home to many local communities. So what it has been and what it is student accommodation. That's what Lower Briggate, I think, and Upper Briggate was like. Could you imagine if it had been a conservation area? And none of them lasted, did they? So I suppose I'm moaning on that these new ones won't last. I don't suppose they will. Marks and Spencer's is still there. This will be locked as well, I bet. Yeah. That's outrageous, isn't it? Used to be able to walk all the way through here. It's Whitelocks. It's an old pub. There'll be videos about it on YouTube. I just want to go down here quickly. Not to see the Kitty Cafe, but this was Debenhams. No idea what it is now. Flannels, whatever that is. This is the Kitty Cafe. I wanted to show you this here was one of Leeds' first cinemas. I think it's there. think it's there. Yeah. It's always been a sleazy little street as this. Yeah. My dad's mum came to see the jazz singer there when it first came out in 1926. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, not sure why I'm a bit grumpy. I think it's that thought that of my friends seems to be resonating. I'm not of this time, and I don't do too much reminiscing or looking back on the good old days. All that malarkey. It's not really me. I'm just going to go for it. I'm sure these places are private now, and you're not supposed to film in them. But Cross Arcade, Briggate. Palace, that must have been a theatre. Is that the Mecca ballroom straight ahead? This was impressive. This was just a street, it wasn't an arcade, and they put the roof on it. Brilliant. Unlike a lot of what they do. Grand Arcade, is it? No, that's further up. So that brings us up a bit higher on Briggate than we wanted to be. County Arcade, that's the one, I can't remember, 1900. We might as well do Queen's Arcade while we're here. The car, it's no more. The car is no more. They've closed the door and they get demolished, turned into a prize for guessing. Student accommodation. So this is what I anticipated doing. Got a bit frustrated. Shouldn't have bothered with Lower Briggate. I never really liked it much. Anyway, the Ship is a great pub. This Whitelocks is a great pub. I'll see if they've opened the gates a bit later and walk through. First time I went in Whitelocks, I was about 3. My mum and dad used to come on the bus. I think I might have been younger. Bring me in my pram, sit outside. This is a great pub though. Proper Tetley's pub, even though Tetley's don't exist anymore. Small pictures of it there. Once tried getting a coffee in here. Long story, but I stopped drinking 11 years ago. No need to worry, I had a lifetime's before then, and it wasn't long after I'd stopped drinking and I went in there and I didn't know what to get, so I said, have you got a coffee? And they didn't have, of course they didn't. The Ship, Leeds Hidden Treasures. Leeds Hidden Treasure, fabled to be the oldest pub in Leeds. The Ship dates back to 1755 and was originally known as the Ship and Griffin. So that's where we walked through. That's the Victoria Quarter, they call it. That's the one that was had a roof put on the street, and Whitelocks is just there, and Lower Briggate, where I got a bit stressed out, was down there. Angel Inn Yard. Not one I've ever really been up this. In fact, I don't think I've ever been up it. This looks smart. Rubber spiral staircase. Is that the Ship? I think that's the Ship. Well, I bet this gets a bit rowdy. Oh yeah, there. Wow, you can see the old pub, can't you? The old building. That's cool. Sounds like there's a train coming. When they started putting the city of Leeds on things. So we'll carry on up here, because this brings us to a it's like Thomas the Tank Engine, isn't it? That's where we Queen's Arcade service entrance. Thornton's Arcade.
It's the one with the clock. Might as well stay, actually, aren't we? Till 11. That was a bit underwhelming.
No, it's not even yet.
I remember as a 6-year-old child that was much more exciting than it was as an old bloke. I think I should have stayed in bed today. Here we are. I'm wandering around saying to myself, where's the state of varieties then? It's here. The entrance to it used to be, it's the oldest theatre I think in Leeds, and the entrance to it used to be on the main road, on the hedgerow. Harry Lauder, Charlie Chaplin and Houdini performed in this music hall. Where the good old days was broadcast. And that's what's on. Right. I think. It's just all cafes, empty shops and cafes. That's all there is in TK Maxx. I have to say, Sunday has disappointed me. I think I needed to, yeah, I definitely needed to come earlier, didn't I? So, and this used to be the entrance to the theatre. No idea what it is now. A cesspit. (6:30) next time when I want to come to Leeds. Horse and Trumpet, Briggate, and then Upper Briggate. Used to be the Odeon Cinema there. Upper Briggate, then I'm off home.
I'm going to take my dog out. I'd have been better doing that. This used to be a very busy street, and they've sort of half pedestrianised it. St John's Church. Briggate. College assembly rooms. Used to be a dirty cinema, showed dirty films, old men in Macs going in. It's a lovely old parade of shops though, as in original old buildings. It's all these bins though, it's just gross, isn't it? And people say, oh, we went abroad and it was spotless. It was lovely. There was outdoor eating areas, there was this, there was that, and you come here and it's like this. This fine house was built in 1720 for Matthew Wilson, is shown on John Cossini's plan of Leeds in 1725. It became an academy for young gentlemen. Make sure I get that iconic shot with all the bins in the way. There you go. Leeds Heritage. Quite fancying this. I've sat in those seats for £20. I don't think it was physically possible actually to get my body in. I was looking at seats last night for it. They're about £85 for the nice seats. I'm sure I fancy this. I'm not a fan of Benjamin Britten's operas. Leeds Grand Theatre and Opera House. No, that don't work. And I like Gilbert and Sullivan, but I'm not sure I could sit through a whole one. Bit of an alleyway there, down the back of the theatre, between the theatre and the arcade. Yeah, kind of losing interest. So we've been through here before, but this is the Grand Arcade, of course it is, because it goes next to the ground, and it almost seems a shame it's just not as popular as the others, is it? And sewing machines. And that's the back of the old cinema, the Tower Cinema that used to be there. We won't go out that way because we're walking back that way. We'll go out this entrance. Which of course we won't go out that entrance. Yeah, so I know the channel's about Leeds, and in some of my videos I do extol the virtues of the city, but I have to be honest. If you gave me £10,000 and said, where in the world do you want to be this morning, it wouldn't be here. Blooming wouldn't. Marion Street, where we would have come out, was the old ABC cinema. It's been derelict for 30 years or more. I don't think I've ever been up here. This is, touched on it in another video, it was the People's Dispensary before there was a NHS in Leeds. It's basically like a hospital for poor people. It's now Richer Sounds. Oh, that's old, isn't it? Proper old. So I think this is the end of Briggate. I was going to walk down Vicar Lane. This is what was the dispensary. I touched on it in another video. This is Vicar Lane. Goes basically all the way down to the Carls, where we've come from. But I don't think I'm going to go that way today. So as I say, I've had enough of Leeds. So I'm going to head just down here, just to the end of, the start of North Street. And then I'm going to work my way around. Nice shot of the city there, though.
yeah, I'm gonna go. Just at the end of North Street, and then I'm going to head back down towards the bus station. Sorry for being grumpy, everybody. I don't know. Sometimes Leeds does that to me. Sometimes it thrills me to be in the city, and sometimes I absolutely hate it. So yeah, we're on North Street now. So thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, I wonder what that was. If you did enjoy the video, then give me a big thumbs up. If you like this kind of content, do consider subscribing to the channel. But until the next time, I'll say cheerio. I'm coming to see if there's a pub here. I came to a pub here a few years ago with some friends. It was lovely. I don't know if it's still here. I think this was at Three's a Crowd. It was called something else then. Yeah. Anyway, that's all for now. See you next time. Cheerio.